Good evening, guys. I am super happy to be with y'all. I thought that I'd just hop on here and do a quick video, a recap of today's trade, and then the price action on SPY, as well as using the gamma exposure tools and market net flow, and my mindset going into every single minute of every single day. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. I've had several requests. I can't even speak. I've had several requests to go over the market and my thought process behind the tools and everything that I use in my trading day. So yeah, sit back, relax, give me a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. Let's get right into it. Okay, y'all, so today we did see a pretty large spike in calls at the very beginning of the day, which pretty much caused us to move from 448 all the way up to almost 452, which was a huge move, about a $4 move within the span of not even an hour, I want to say. I think that $4 move happened, let's see, it topped at the top of the hour. So within 30 minutes, we were up $4, and clear as day, you can see that call buyers were very present at the very beginning of the day. But then eventually the bears took over and we had a market cross, and then we had a huge drop from about 452 all the way down to 450, all the way from 452 to 445. So let's talk about what happened throughout the day, and then the gamma exposure levels and how those played out throughout the entire day. So let me move this tab over so y'all can see it. This so I pretty much post play-by-plays of market net flow as it's happening, as well as gamma exposure levels. So this will help me guide in explaining what went on throughout the day. So just keep in mind, remember, I'm West Coast time, so 7:04 a.m. is 10 Eastern time, so 7 Pacific time. So the market opens at 6:30 for me, so this is about 30 minutes after the market opened. This is when we topped. So I was showing everyone that calls were super bullish. I was thinking about getting to calls, but obviously I never get in at the high of day when flow is this bullish, and we've just gone straight up. There was no red candles at all. So I was kind of hesitant to play calls, even though calls were going up, and we had that green convergence flip, which you could have caught in a couple dollars there just by getting into the green convergence. But again, remember, I don't get in pre 15 minutes, so I just chose not to stay out of that position. And then as you guys could see over here on the right side of your screen, the huge fall we had. So this top here is when we topped out in the market right at 7 a.m. my time. So it was roughly around the same time that I posted this right here. So, and then just a short 40 minutes later, you can see that calls completely came down, and then puts were on the rise, and we eventually did get a put cross, which I was showing you earlier. I said right here, well, this is why I was patient, can never trust a straight up open market, right at market open. And that's exactly why I stayed out of calls there, and I'm grateful that I did that. So flow reversed there, and then eventually we did get the call cross, or sorry, the put cross. And then I said at 7:59, which is about an hour after we topped up here, I said flow looked very good at the start of the day. If flow was bullish still, this would have been my entry point for calls, is what I was saying. But since flow has since reversed and is touching, I can't in my right mind get into anything. Still watching close, and then I said the 447 gamma exposure level is the only level that is heading negative at the moment. So what I mean by that is I was noticing that the 447 gamma exposure level, this one right here, you probably could have seen it better on the line chart, but I don't have a screenshot of that. But I did post this chart, and you could see that the 447 as well as these other levels were getting negative. So as we were falling down, those levels started to get very negative. And remember, negative levels attract price, and it's like a magnet. So in this screenshot, it looks like about that time at 8 a.m. we were hovering around 450. It looks like we bounced right off of 449, and then we were back up at 450 at that time. So we were at 450 at that time on SPY, and you could see that these gamma exposure levels, which I just mentioned here, 447 was getting negative, as well as 445. Oh, I say it right here. Yeah, so I said it 13 minutes later that 447 and 445 were both negative at the moment to the downside, while we were hovering around 449-ish. So, yeah, guys, that's pretty much what I do every single day. I always look at those gamma exposure levels to give me an idea of where the market's going to be heading, as well as coinciding that with market net flow. Market net flow is a huge help to give me the bias and direction of what I think that where I think the market's going to be heading. So, let's scroll on a little bit here. Okay, so here's a good little visual here. It doesn't show 4:45, which I'm kind of upset about, but you can see here at 9:51 a.m., which is what is that? 12:51 Eastern. You can see that this blue bar here, or purple. I'm colorblind, so I don't know what it is, but this 446 was going down. So let's see what the price of SPY was at that 9:51 level. 9:51. So we were about at 448 when that 446 was going down. So that's still about a $2 move to the downside when that was heading down. So that was very red. So I'm assuming that since the 445 wasn't on this chart, it wasn't as red as that 446. But still, that gave us the target of 446 to the downside, which was still $2 away at the time. So that played out perfectly, as you can see down here on this chart. It alerted, or sorry, I posted this chart at 9:51 and I can show you. So this is about 9:51 right here on this big candle up, and then we reversed down. This was 448, this line, and then 447, and then 446, and then this line here is 445, as you can see right here on my cursor. Okay, so let's talk about my trade. I don't want to bore you guys anymore. So I did catch a little reversal on SPY, which was riskier because I was going against flow, but I can show you exactly why I got into the trade right here. So I did get in at 11:22 a.m. My time. I did get into calls, even though flow was super bearish. Let me show you why I got into that. So you can see here, this is about 11:22. So I did, here, let me screenshot this so I can show you guys here. Okay, so this was the convergence play that I got into, this gray convergence. So usually I do like getting into the colored flips more than the gray flips, but remember, convergence is the price, or sorry, the strength of price relative to the flow. So if the convergence is red, price is heading down and it's following the bearish flow, which we had here. And if it's gray, it does the opposite, or it's chop. So on heavy volatile days, you can really catch nice reversals, which I've been noticing all week this week. But especially yesterday and today, we did catch a really nice long trade. As you can see right here, we did get in a little bit too early. We could have gotten a nice retest of the 448 level. Or no, sorry. Let me make sure I'm saying that. The 446 level. So this right here is the 446 level. We did catch it a little bit on the higher side up here because I did wait until that flipped exactly. And we were down slightly, but since it held that 446 gamma exposure level, I was still in that trade. And then we caught the little tiny pump that we did have about $1. I know it looks small here, but it was about $1, a little over $1 move to the upside on that on this gray convergence long entry. So that's the reason why I did get into that trade. Because we did push above the EMAs, we came back and retested them, and we also held that 446 gamma exposure level, which is really nice, and we caught that little dollar move for 20% or so on those SPY calls. So that was the recap on the convergence play. It's really simple, guys. Like, you don't have to overcomplicate trading at all, especially for me. I try to keep it as simple as possible, but everything does have to line up in my favor in order for me to get into a trade. I'm more on the conservative side when it comes to trading, so I try my very best not to lose as much money, or if any, if that's possible. But yeah, these convergence flips have been very successful for me, and I've enjoyed sharing them with you guys on YouTube, Twitter, Discord, every single day. So yeah, that was the recap on the trade that I got into, and that pretty much followed us into the remainder of the day. And how I managed that trade is I can just briefly go over that. So even though it did end up red at the very end of the day, because we did get a nasty downturn. Oh, you can't see it. So this is where I kind of got in. So I got in on, here, let me zoom in so you guys can see it a little bit more on the chart. and make sure y'all can see it. So this is kind of roughly where I got into on this little bull flag and above this EMA cloud. This is when I entered, and we did end up red for the first 15 or 20 minutes or so, but we held that 446, and then we pushed back up a little bit higher than this next 447 game exposure level. So even though we did end up red, or it did end up red at the very end of the day, we did trim. I always trim at 10 to 20%, and then once I trim off most of my contracts, I always set a stop loss at break even when I did get into that trade, so it's a risk-free trade, and I can stay in that as long as possible up until my stop loss hits at the entry point. So I'm glad that we did catch that nice little pump. It was more of like a quick day trade within 30 minutes or so, which I'm happy about, because then I had to go to the doctor's with my wife to have surgery. But that's it, guys. I'm excited for tomorrow. Fridays are great. Hopefully we get some nice flow tomorrow, because those are when we catch the best trades. I will see y'all tomorrow. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment on the video what you think. I hope that I didn't bore you guys to death. But I love y'all. I'll see you tomorrow.